I don't know how, but that was off.
Hey, yo, it's Bug. I gotta holler at my people in the NYC. PP, but you can call it Boogie. Lives. The best fam in Manhattan. Matter of fact, you ain't even got to ask, man.
I thought you were I want to hear Bug Bite.
That was artist Bug Bite,
Nice.
friend of the show, with a song called Boogie in the NYC. Welcome to From Behind the Barcast, the podcast for bartending, service industry, drinking in general. In Paxton, we got Clint the Mayonnaise, Marauder Moses, and in the ones and twos.
Sunset Kelly on the ones and twos.
Never gets old.
A little bit later, we'll talk about why we can't use our normal intro song.
But first, before we go forward, let's back it up a little bit.
Hey!
I recently started a little kerfuffle online, I suppose. Not a big one, a lighter one, especially compared to other discussions I've instigated. Backing a car in. Do you back in? Do you pull in? When to back in? When not to back in, I suppose. And people are really against inner backers, as they said. Or backer inners. It was used both ways.
I think that's a euphemism for something else for those people.
Sounds like something else. Inner backers. I've been inner backer before.
I'm getting a lot of mixed messages from the terminology.
But some people were angrily against backing in their car. They're like, why? I hate people that do that. I'm like, well, look, if you're going somewhere and you're not in a hurry, take your time, back in. Sometimes you could be maybe in more of a hurry to leave. It's also much safer to pull out of any parking situation forwards than it is backwards. Lots of accidents happen when backing up.
Sure.
It's not as easy to see. Granted, I know you were backing in, so you're backing up then, but pulling out.
You're not backing into an open area.
To an open area.
You're backing into a
closed area. Yeah. So it's a little safer thing. Now, I pull my car in because I have to drive it into the garage, and you've been in my house, it barely fits in the garage. It's got, a foot on each side.
It's a garage for ants.
Yes, and so I have to pull in forward there for it to fit appropriately in the garage.
I thought you had to do that because that car's so low to the ground that it wouldn't get over the...
I can't get out of the car on the other side if I back in.
Okay.
Because there's only like 2
I
feet
thought
of
it couldn't
room.
get over your
Like
wall.
when I have a date, I have to kick them out of the car before I pull in the garage.
Yeah, because you ran over a walnut one time and it ripped your exhaust out, right?
A walnut? Anyway,
That's how low to the ground his car is, people.
Oh, okay. It's actually the same height as a Honda Civic.
Okay.
It just looks like it's lower. Anyways, but my other car, I back in. I back it into the spot.
Yes.
I'm usually going to work in that car, so I'm always ready to be in a hurry.
Yeah.
Or just to go faster. If I pull into a parking lot and there's cars around me, I just pull in. But there's nobody around. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I want to back on in right now.
Okay, so...
But I ask these people this. If you don't like backing in, do you pull through the spot when the other side's open, or do you not pull through the spots? Then you're pulling out. And then you're admitting that pulling out forward is easier.
Well, you got to hit the
How
spot
was the
before
service
then
there?
pull out.
You hit the spot, then pull out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hit
You
the
gotta-
spot, then pull out.
Yeah.
Make sure
always pull out, though.
Make sure everybody,
Try to pull
all
out,
parties
please.
involved are happy.
I wish
Okay.
some people's parents had pulled out.
Okay, so my take on it is, I don't know the pros or the cons in terms of like safety or whatever, but for me personally, if there's enough room and it's not a hassle, I'll back in.
Right.
Just because I like driving my car.
Yeah.
I like having that muscle worked out where it's like, backing up.
Yeah.
In case you got to parallel park sometimes. Just being good at driving your car in small spaces is a good thing.
Yeah, and that's the car I have right now is the smallest one I've ever had, so I can stick that thing in a shoebox.
Yeah. So, But all right. So when it comes to the safety thing, I don't know anything about it. But if it's a smaller parking lot, and I have the opportunity to pull in, to back in, I will. Just because once I run out to the car and get in, it's just like when you make your bed right after you wake up and you forget, and then you come home at night and your bed's all nice and made.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
You might back into a parking spot, go inside the store for however long, forget that you were able to back in.
Or, God forbid, all of a sudden you have an emergency and you have to go. You're ready to go.
But it's just a nice
Cops,
surprise.
all cops back in.
It's a nice surprise to yourself. It's
Go to a
like,
police station, every cop car's backed in.
yeah.
Because they have to leave in case of an emergency quite often.
But then the same thing at Walmart, what I'll do is I'll park way far away where there's not a car
So I can pull
on the
through.
other side.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I can pull, because I don't mind walking. It's just a little
I
things
don't mind
in
walking.
life.
I like watching somebody wait for a space that's really close so they don't have to walk far. As I drive past them, park, and walk past them.
Yeah.
I'm like, what'd you do with all that time you saved waiting for that space that's close to the store? Nothing.
Unless
and then
you
they get out
got
of the car and they're 480 pounds. I'm like, Sir, you should only be allowed to park in the back of the lot.
Actually, get a handicap sticker if you're that fat.
Yeah, I guess. Or, pro tip, lose some fucking weight.
You could do that too. Maybe that would be step one in your weight loss program.
Maybe back up the eating into a spot. Speaking of eating.
Maybe don't pick the sandwich back up.
Yes. Speaking of eating, I proposed a little taste test here today on From Behind the Barcast. Yeah, let's do that. I'm sorry. We'll
I
let's
don't
back
know.
up. Let me back up.
Okay, let's back up.
Yeah, we need to actually probably wash this out because it's not,
All right, so
we're choosing some sake.
Itadakimasu. This is sake.
Japanese tequila.
And you may have seen us do it. You pour in tradition. You pour the other person's shot.
Hey.
So I was watching one of my favorite YouTube channels. It's okay. I thought.
Okay.
One of my favorite
pairs with
YouTube
bologna,
channels. It's called the pairing with bologna is what I was worried about. So I was just gonna drink this first.
Yeah.
I was watching this YouTube video today. Abroad in Japan, it's this English guy who's lived in Japan.
You said
for 10
abroad
years.
in Japan.
It is.
Some broad in Japan.
Yeah.
Broad in Japan.
It's really great because his last name is Broad. His name's Chris Broad.
Oh,
so he
so
named
he
his
is
channel
a
Abroad in Japan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
See what you did there.
But he's been there 10 years, and he moved there to teach English, which is like a huge racket where they don't actually teach English. They just go over there so they can have a working visa and start to live there or whatever. But they went to this pub and poured this giant Sapporo. They weren't drinking sake, but I was like, if I'm going to go get a giant, So I went and I wanted to get like the big boy cans of Sapporo, but the liquor store didn't have them. They just had a 12-pack of these cans. And then I just picked up whatever sake they had. I don't know how to.
So I like
Haiku.
I like here. You want to do the sake part? Cause
Yeah.
I like unfiltered Nagori. That's my favorite kind of sake.
Well, they had two types: the black bottle and the white bottle.
I like the white bottle.
Oh, the white bottle. Oh, I didn't know.
That's usually the. I think
it was
that's
cheaper.
Different. I don't buy a lot of Taiku, but it's a Jumane Ginjo is a super premium Japanese sake produced of the famous Human Eye, doing that one, at a brewery located between some places and some mountains in Nara, Japan. This sake is crafted from a blend of some shit. I don't know what some of these words are, so I'm not going to do it. It's koji though.
You wanted to do it.
Perfectly balanced, full body with notes of peach and vanilla. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Koji's like fermented rice, I believe. It's like the goop, like the fermented goop. It doesn't look very appetizing, but it's good for making a sweet wine.
So what may hopefully pair with this is, I guess, the Sapporo. So we were talking about Bob Barker passing away, R.I.P. Bob.
On our pre-podcast
phone call. I said, hey, do you need any snacks from Publix? And he said no. And I told him Bob Barker died. He was like, I thought he died 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And Paxton's from the future. And I said, people were playing all the memes. Bob got as close to 100 without going over. One of the ones was, in memory of Bob Barker, I'm going to have chicken noodle soup, saltines, and ginger ale today. I said, so Patrick, do you want some chicken noodle soup? And he goes, no, but I used to eat bologna sandwiches when I stayed home from school kind of sick. And I was like, on white bread? With mayonnaise or mustard? And he's like, yeah. I was like, ooh.
Well, it
sounds really healthy.
It was all the things you mentioned before. It was ginger ale, it was saltine crackers, and it was chicken soup. Mm-hmm. But as I began to feel better, if I did.
Your bologna sandwich was a step up.
Bologna sandwich was the step up to more solid fare.
Yeah, so what I decided was we were going to do a little bologna sandwich taste. Now what I got here is bologna sandwiches. I can't see them. Here we go. It's a bologna sandwich. It's a Celtic bologna sandwich. Anyways, so we're going to
Celtic knot of a
bologna
bologna
I have
sandwich.
3 sandwiches with 3 slices of bologna on each. One with all mustard. I got the sliced Publix German bologna.
No, I know, but I'm just reminding myself of being a kid. It was always just one slice, but I guess you're a kid then.
Yeah, you're a kid and you're poor.
Yeah.
Because you actually have no money because you're a child.
Yeah.
But so one's got all mayonnaise, one's got all mustard, and one's got a mustard mayonnaise mixture. That is it on white bread, sliced German bologna. And throughout the segment, we're going to each taste one of them of each kind and then decide which one we like the best. Okay. And then if we all end up liking a different one the best, then you can just finish your sandwich.
I'll get one out of the way.
Yeah. So Paxton's hungry, I guess, after trying to hide them from me.
I just want to.
Just a blind shot. You going?
No, I can see what it is.
Yeah, it is all right.
He can see what it is. Yeah, you can look at the crack there, and you got the mayonnaise and mustard together there.
Classic white bread on the top of my.
I told you.
White bread stuck on the roof of your mouth.
I haven't had that.
Takes you back to being a kid, doesn't it?
The bad part.
The bad part is
better now.
Is the crust? Was it the crust that got you?
Man.
I'm sorry. I want to ask you to talk while your mouth is full. But I used to go through bologna phases where every now and then I'd be like, I want some bologna. I'd go to the deli and buy a pound and a half of bologna. And would you like a plate, sir? Here you go. So you don't have to use a piece of wood. So I would go buy a thing of bologna and a thing of, but in my adulthood, normally I get the Sara Lee's white wheat bread. But this had to be classic white bread.
Yeah, if you're going to do the proper experiment of the childhood favorite.
What was your first one?
Mayonnaise and mustard.
It's good.
And it's great.
I like mayonnaise and mustard.
Kelly,
You want your mayonnaise and mustard?
I'm gonna try.
while you eat that, you want to hear a horrifying food fact?
Mm-hmm.
So
About bologna?
we all know it's not about bologna. We all know how to make gravy, right? Well, here in the South, people make gravy a lot. We're a gravy-centric place. All right, so
Gravy,
there's 2 or 3 ways to go about it. You can go a clean gravy where you don't use the drippings of the food that you cook, and you just start with butter and butter and flour, and then add in, salt, pepper, milk. You can make shit on a shingle gravy sort of thing. And then you can do the like if you fry like a cube steak with flour on the cube steak, shallow fry it. You can just use the same grease.
Yep.
You add more flour to it, and you make gravy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how you make it. You make it with the drippings and the leftover fat from whatever you're cooking.
Yeah.
KFC, you know how they make their gravy?
Please tell me it's with the oil they fry the chicken in.
It is, and they scrape all the brown shit that comes with the flour, like the burnt roux, basically.
Nice.
Yeah.
They bring that up into a bucket and mix it with water or whatever.
And make gravy like that.
With the remnants at the bottom of the fryer.
Now, I can't say last time I remember
Which is
having...
kind of horrifying.
It's kind of horrifying. Because you're the person cleaning that fryer and doing all the maintenance, usually the highest paid guy in the building. Wait, no, it's not. It's the lowest paid guy in the building. Hey, new guy. Do you know how to do
Maybe
this?
not at KFC, though. The lowest paid guy might be the one scooping
They
the
have a
green
gravy
beans.
chef?
Yeah, I mean...
This is pretty good.
It's
Kelly said he hasn't had bologna in 35 years.
Did you get the
Oh yeah,
the top mouth?
First bite into it. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
But it's such a classic thing. Bologna sandwich on white bread.
I'm not mad at it.
See, when I used to go buy it, and I hadn't bought bologna in years, but when I would go buy it, I would some would get fried, some would get mixed up with other stuff.
Yeah.
And some just the classic.
And did you Pac-Man fry it, or did you
Pac-Man fry it,
or did you Celtic knot fry it?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
Depending on. Sometimes I do an egg in a basket, with it. Put the bologna out, put the egg in there.
I never did that. No, I never did that myself.
Did either one of you ever go through a crustless phase, like all the edges cut off?
Did I? I was anti-crust for a long time.
I didn't
Really?
care. I never cared.
I didn't have a preference.
Peanut butter and jelly crustless was my favorite one, probably.
I never went through that phase. I mean, I just like it the way it is. I mean, if they want to take the crust off and that's how it's presented, fine. I'm not going to complain about it.
Yeah.
But see,
But if I make a sandwich on my own,
what I'll do is
I
I'll
might
eat
take it
everything
crust.
but the crust, and then if 5 minutes later, if I'm like, yeah, I'll finish it.
Yeah.
If there's enough condiment on the crust.
Yeah, I don't peel I used to peel the crust, but now I realize that life is short. Eat the crust, I guess.
Well, and if you have a good artisanal bread, the crust is one of the better parts.
Oh, if you if you put a little bit of butter on there, you make toast. You toast the delicious white bread. It's good. Toasted white bread with butter is delicious.
Those crazy Brits, they put butter inside their sandwiches as condiment.
Okay, I'm in.
I don't know, man. I can't. All right, outside to grill it up.
I use a lot of
that's
butter.
one thing. But cold raw butter on the inside of a sandwich.
Yeah.
It's got to be room temperature butter. It won't spread otherwise.
Well, see, in England they use this shit called Lurpak, which is the first spreadable cold butter. So it would spread over white bread without breaking it.
How do you know? What's
But
the spreading additive?
It's not butter. Yeah, that's what I'm
I
saying.
can believe that it's not butter.
It's suspended animation molecules of whatever. Lurpak, invented in 1903.
So yeah, as we're drinking Sapporo and sake, I want to give a shout out to Davis Produce on Talehie Island here in Savannah. It's if you lived in Savannah, you know what Davis, the home of the killer tomato. I went by there the other day, and then I was having an okay day, and I left there and was like, this day is amazing. This day, it's a sweet lady. Sherry's a great woman, great tomatoes, and she was like, wait a minute. Oh, it's you. I have sunglasses on. Apparently, I have anything covering my eyes, even down to a monocle. No one knows who the hell I am.
I've seen this in person. He'll pull the glass off like goddamn Kent.
And people were like, they look at me. I'm like, what's up? They're like, hey. I'm like, I think I'm off. They're like, oh, hey. And I'm like, I've been wearing glasses for a long time.
Dude, you could rob a bank.
I probably could. And they're like, but on TV, like, I've never seen that guy in my life. No one has. Wait, did you hear him talk? No, he had everything written down on a card, printed out of cut out newspaper clippings.
Or you have it on your phone reading out, give me your money.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Text to speech.
And so I got in the car, took my sunglasses off for a second, and petting Dooley sitting shotgun. And she was like, wait a minute. You're marrying your son Clint, right? Yes. Oh, here, come on. Take 2 giant bags of peanuts with you. And I was like, all right. And they were still hot.
Nice.
Usually you get the peanuts for free. They're cold. These were hot nuts. And Paxton just died. He's allergic to bologna. But
Wait,
God,
was it German bologna?
yeah. And there was another kind of bologna. They had like Luxembourg bologna or some other shit. And I was like, what the hell? What in the bologna? What in the Heil? Sorry.
Smellenborg.
Can I just get some bologna from Bologna?
Bologna.
Bologna.
Is that Italian? It is now. That sounds good.
Is it Italian?
What is that? I mean, I think German is the origin of bologna.
Yeah, but is Bologna in Germany?
Probably at one point in time it was. Just about everything
Yeah.
was. Yeah, they were pretty good at that. So, have any nice hugs lately at work?
So, if I could tell everyone this, stop hugging me at work. No, just kidding. Every person that listens to the podcast that I interact with at all, they'll sneak hug me from the back.
Yeah.
I don't like the sneak hug.
Now, they're like, well, at first they were like, well, now I'm never going to hug you again, per our topic a couple weeks ago.
Mission accomplished.
But actually, it's gone the entire opposite way. They're like, bring it in, baby. Where's my hug? Which the only people that are doing it are people that I would hug on a regular basis.
So the thing is, now everybody's going to start hugging you.
But, I mean, all right, so, well, speaking of hugs, like Saturday night, this past Saturday, I saw like 5 huggable people. But my mental health was in such dire straits, literally from the uncomfortable heat. And we talk, we bitch about it being hot down here all the time. But it was unbelievably muggy this Saturday. And it was legit affecting my mental health in terms of I didn't want to talk to any, like I was just having a really bad time with it because I never could get comfortable. And the whole deck.
So you kind of needed a hug.
I mean, I guess so, yeah. And the whole deck was in disarray because of the people working and the people attending the bar, which I've sort of figured out. If you're from South Carolina and you're between the age of 40 and 65 right now, you're a huge piece of shit.
Dude, I mean,
You're a huge entitled piece of shit because no more have I dealt with people doing the dismissive wave, like, get your ass over here, buddy. Or I'm going to tell you what you can do for me.
no, you're not.
Yeah, let me tell you what you're going to do for me. Hey, you think you could take our food order, or should I get somebody else?
That's a gem.
You've been sitting there for 10 seconds.
Yes.
Person. You're not a
Food
sir.
order? All right. Yeah. What would you like? Can I have a menu?
Also that. Hey,
And here's the thing. Tell your damn grandparents, tell your 40 to 65-year-old friends from South Carolina, the internet exists everywhere pretty much.
yeah.
If you go in a restaurant and you don't see a menu right there, just Google it. I know a lot of places have the QR code now.
Yep.
That's the only way you can get a menu. And I've watched some of these boomers you're complaining about be like, I don't want a goddamn scan. I want to hold a menu in my hand. It's in your hand in the phone, buddy. Get used to it. It's saving product.
And it's the
Cleaner.
It's also cleaner. But the worst part about it is even when they've received the menu, they want your undivided attention while they decide when there's other people waiting that know what they want. But then if I'm waiting on those other people, they're beckoning me. I'm like, I know you're not ready. And no.
God.
So the other day, I don't want to this age to say this, but I was like, someone was like, yeah, I think I'll have, what about, I'll give you a minute, I'll be right back. No, I'm good. I'm like, cool, you'll be ready when I get back too. And just walked off.
Yeah.
Because you will be ready when I get back. And I'm not going to be gone very long. There's more profit in me turning the table than there's you just sitting there. But I'm not going to stand next to you while you decide. I'll help you through it some. But if you have 12 questions, hey, I'm going to just narrow it down to 2 or 3 things. I'll help you out there. I can surprise you with it. You can go, hey, which one of these 3 should I get? I'm like, I'll surprise. I liked a woman the other day. She goes, pick a number 1, 2, or 3. And I was like, ooh, I like this game.
Yeah.
I'll take a 3. And she's like, okay. I was leaning on that one anyways. I'm like, well, what were 1 and 2? She told me, I was like, 3 was the winner.
She gave you multiple choice, just like that.
I like it.
Just like that. Yeah, I had this couple come in, and they were like, hey, we've never been here before. Could we get slice or, what's the thing? Can you get any of that? Like, there was the 2 questions that you need to ask. And I don't mind sitting there helping someone along if they've never been there. But you just go, hey, I haven't been here. What's the system? Instead of, hey, give me a menu. And then looking at it for 10 minutes, calling me over, and then not knowing, oh, well, can I get just anything on it? Sort of thing, It's like the system exists like, hey, what can I get you to drink? Well, give me a slice of pepperoni. It's like, you're gonna want something to drink. Your girlfriend's not ready to order yet. I can tell.
Yeah,
I see that.
That's the weirdest thing when the man, and traditionally you let the ladies order first, especially here in the South. But when the man, and we used to be a Yankees shithead like I had the other night at this place I work right now, and I was like, any questions? And he goes, no, I'll have the, and his wife goes, I'm not ready to order. I was like, let's wait for the ladies to get ready. He's like, well, I'm going to have, I was like, I'm not going to, I'll come back when the ladies are ready. And he's like, well, I mean, just so you know, I'm like, I don't want to know. I don't need to know. And there's something about this time of year, I mean, I'm talking like the damn Yankees, the super Boston, New England area Yankees that think, no matter what, everyone in the South is dumber than everyone at this table. Like, there's no one in this entire state and area that could have an IQ close to what theirs is because they are from the great white North. No, you're an idiot. And stop. And they're the worst people this time of year for the most part. They're just very aggressive and abrasive. They don't appreciate kindness and hospitality. They're curt and quick. And it's like, hey,
it's like they've never exchanged money for services before in a public setting. Like, they're used to walking into a Walmart and checking out.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how these people act in Ubers if they act that way at a bar or a restaurant. Because instead of them being like, hey, we're going to this place and there's an interaction to be no, they come in expecting like every single thing I think at any moment needs to be done by this person because they are waiting, you know, they're
this is my slave right now.
Exactly.
And slave, you better do what I want you to do.
Yeah, I'm your server, not your slave.
And the thing is, when they're in this nice swanky Italian joint in New York City, they're not treating Boogie like that. They're not behaving that way up there because they know they'll get called out. But down here, like, well, they're nice, but I'm gonna run all over them anyways. And then tip them 15%.
Take that Southern hospitality and ram it up their ass.
Yeah, and it's like like the other night, me and my coworker came to one another. She and I like to commiserate, and we both came with the same complaint. Do you have a Yankee table over there? God damn it, I do too. Oh, God. Where they sit, I'm going to look at them.
It's like a candle.
And I like to just go look at someone's shitty table and just like stare and be like, yep, I can see why they're assholes. Or any opportunity to like run food to them and quickly move your stuff. Watch out.
Yeah.
Also, people, I'll just give you a project while Paxton tries the all mustard piece of bread. Yeah, that's that corner over there. Like you're choosing the smaller pieces, like that 1 millimeter less of sandwich is going to help you. And so when you sit down in a restaurant, oftentimes the silverware is located in front of you over a napkin. A bread plate is on the left. The bread plate will stay where it is. The reason the silverware is on the napkin, you take the silverware off the napkin, place it wider than a plate's width apart, and then you put the napkin on your lap, not in your shirt, not on the side of the table. Well, throw it on the floor. A napkin goes in your lap.
I'm not against the napkin and shirt for some reason.
If you're having spaghetti on a lunch break from your job at the stock market, go ahead.
Sure.
But when you're wearing a T-shirt that says "I hate Southerners," you don't need to tuck your napkin in your shirt.
True.
When you're done, it's polite to refold it, and that means you had a good meal. If you ball it up, it usually means things weren't the best. That was kind of like the subtlety back in the in French dining. It was kind of subtleties back in the day.
Yeah, where you leave your napkin tells you whether you're coming back or not.
Yes, that
like
as well.
Your
yes.
chair.
Yeah, if it's in your chair, you know, and
yeah, there's a whole etiquette to the whole.
But I didn't realize that. You need the napkin's part of the meal. Don't just put it to the side and then use your hands and wipe them on your shorts. But when you're done, you don't need to throw it on the floor. You don't need to leave it in your lap and drop it on the floor. Yeah, but you need to move everything out from in front of you. That is the most important part of this. When I come over with your plate, I don't need to go, hey, could you move the two things you're about to pick up anyways? Because you're going to pick them up anyways. So why? And I will say, hey, I'll be right back if you could clear the area in front of you so I can put plates down. Because sometimes you come in with a hot-ass plate, and nothing's worse than watching the guy at the Mexican restaurant with 7 plates.
40 up his arm.
He's sweating so profusely. It's sizzling on the plate as it hits.
Here's another thing about not moving your shit out of the way whenever I'm walking up. If I walk up and I've got hands full and I set all this stuff down and you've made room, but you still go, well, we also had this and this. It's like, you see how many hands I have, right? I can only bring so much at the time. Mm-hmm. Whenever I bring something and I'm like, could you please move your stuff? And they expect me to do it. I'm like, do you want me to move it with my third arm?
It's about waist.
Yeah. I mean, some of the tables are about at my third arm's height.
Just kind of whacking around.
Yeah. That's like the super simple etiquette that's like more like, I think that's more genetic.
Yes.
Than it is taught.
My parents taught me and some people didn't have parents that would taught them how to do that growing up.
Don't you
But
have the
napkin, lap and
proclivity to
stuff.
grab it all the fucking way anyways?
I want
Without
food.
being taught
I
that?
ordered the food. I want the food to get here right in front of me. So put it down right there. Look at that. Bam.
You automatically just have the muscle memory.
I do half the busting of the table anyway. I'll stack plates. Like if we're not getting to-go food, I'll put all the extra whatever on one plate and then stack as much as I can. And I've had more than a few servers go, you must have dated somebody who's done it, you know. I'm like, I mean,
it's a joy to see people. There's two types of people that do that, though. There's the ones that suck about it, that want to use that as like a bargaining chip sort of thing. Like
And they're from up north.
Yeah. They stack all their shit up and they're like, look what I've done for you.
Yeah.
That reminded me of a table from up north with 3 kids. It was 2 adults, 4 kids. One of the kids could have driven a car. The other 3 between 6 and 16. The father, when they were getting done, stacks everything up like, about this high and goes, here you go. And there's plates for food, napkins,
probably 40
silverware,
pounds,
everything in between it. And he's like, it's not near the edge though. It's like it's in the middle of the table. And he's like, here you go. And I'm like, I can't get that. And if I pick it up like that, it's just going to be a disaster. So I'm like, oh, thank you. And I just took the top one off.
Yeah.
And put it away to some other stuff and but you don't.
That's also a way to tell if they've been in the service industry. The way they do stack it.
Yes.
So if you got 2 plates on the bottom, 40 napkins, random shit in the middle, and then
Yeah.
4 more plates on the top.
and my favorite.
That's the wrong kind of
glass.
sandwich. Yeah.
Or anything they're drinking out of goes now on the plate. What I can't.
No.
No.
You don't do that. You know what else you don't do? Stuff every napkin on the table into a cup full of water. All right, so then the other type of person who stacks it up neatly and moves it all the way, if they just they know what they need to do to get themselves situated in a seat in a busy restaurant. Because typically, except at Huckapoo's, it's just dirty all the damn time because half the people don't bust their own fucking tables. But when we're busy and it's a busy place or any busy place, if there's a little bit of something somewhere and you want to find yourself a spot and there's like 2 of you and there's 2 seats with just some shit in front of it, you stack that son of a bitch up and you move it out of the way and then you sit down and be like, all right, I got my spot now.
You gotta get a spot, yeah.
I don't expect to be served like I just sat down to a clean table.
And that person, when you bring their food out, will have nothing in front of them.
There won't be a damn thing.
I went to Bubba Gumbo. Shout out to Caitlin and Anna. Took great care of us at Bubba Gumbo's on Saturday. Took my buddy Max and his wife Whitney were in town.
They took a little field trip to the studio, did they not?
Yes, they came to the studio as well. And so I was like, look, what do y'all want to do for lunch? And they're like, I don't know. I was like, well, there's a great seafood place on Tybee. So I told everyone to go to get seafood. If they want fresh local seafood, I kind of give them the same rundown I've always given. And I got stickers in the car for you too from them.
I love a sticker.
And so she goes, well, he's not a big seafood fan. And I was like, what? And the guy used to live with me. Like when he moved in with me from, I think I've told this story before, but I'll just get a quick one out. He moved from Munich, Germany to Effingham County, Georgia at 17. Now, if you're not familiar with Effingham County, it's called Methingham sometimes. It is, there's a place called Tiger Ridge there, where an inbred community lives.
Love Tiger Ridge.
They do great Christmas decorations. That's apparently like their special needs skills. But having moved from there to there, it's culture shock completely. So, and his English wasn't as good as he's about to be 40. So they started teaching everybody English, I think, when like Sophia's generation pretty much. So he spoke some English, but not a lot. And it's Southern ass
That's a different English. That's a different English.
He's never heard that English at all. And so he's kind of,
there's words I don't understand.
He ended up moving in with me when he was 19 and finishing up his senior year of high school because some shit with his stepdad at home. And just a quick one, I looked over at him one time and I said, hey, German guy that just moved in with me at 19. We're all drunk and stoned having like a moment. I go, how much of what I say do you understand? Give me a percentage. And he goes, 60%. He said it so fast, like he'd already thought about it. He goes, 60%. I'm like, that's pretty good.
Really?
I think the average is like 75% maybe.
Maybe, but at your speed of talking, anything over 30% for an English speaker is good.
Yeah, exactly. and the thing is, I talked to him on the phone when he was in Savannah, and he was like, I'm talking to him for like 5 minutes, and I can hear him like trying to get off the phone, but he's still asking me information. And then when I go to see him finally, and I'm hugging him, we're talking, I'm like, oh, I am hard to understand on the phone. It's a lot of sandwich.
Do you go to 0.75 speed whenever you're talking to a foreign table?
Yeah, usually. Unless they're being dicks, and I really go.
I do too naturally.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they're dicks, no.
I don't mind like, hey, how are you?
No, I don't.
But I try to look
them.
at. I try to make eye contact with everybody. I make strong eye contact.
Yeah.
And talk slow, and I use my hands a lot.
Yeah,
they're Italian.
Yeah, I
really
don't
like that.
patronizingly do it because, like, typically any foreigners here, like French, German, whatever, Mexican, any kind of Spanish, they all speak
Pretty good
English.
Pretty good English.
So this German couple was in, and I walked in, and they were like, "German couple over there, good luck." I was like, "What do you mean?"
They're going to speak perfect English.
Amazing English.
Yes.
So my first 10 words were, "Hello, how are you? Would you like something?" They're like, "Yeah, we will take some slices of pizza." And I was like, "Oh,
did they
back up to 100 speed? Back up to 100% speed." So
when we get there, I realized that. So anyway, so they go to Gumbo's, and then he's like, she's like, he doesn't like that much seafood. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, I'm just gonna order for us, and if you don't like it, that's fine. I got a smash burger, I got the fried shrimp, and I got this catch of the day, the red snapper, and for an appetizer, the hush puppies. You gotta get them with the garlic dipping butter. And she brought us one butter, and I was like, can they have one too? Because I'm eating this whole ramekin of butter, and she was like, my wife goes, I'm like, what? And when we got done,
funny here.
Two of them, one of me. There's barely a corner of butter in mine. There's like a third done.
I don't care how much butter of that butter you give me. It's kind of never enough.
No.
It's kind of never enough.
But then we get the garlic steamed shrimp. So we got garlic, a little bit of hot sauce in there, chunks of garlic with the shell on. And then I realized my friend is a mass murderer because my buddy Max picks up an entire shrimp and eats it with the shell and all. Wow. He didn't eat the tail, thankfully. So he's not he's not Hitler. He's just Dahmer. Yeah. Dahmer like to crunch. But I'm like, hey, if you don't like seafood, you know what will help you is maybe eating it the right way. And he goes, no, I like shrimp. He's just not a big fish person. I'm like, you like it like this? He goes, yeah. I'm like, tail, everything but the tail, the feet, everything. He's like, yeah. I was like, I've never seen a white person do this. I've seen older Asian people do it.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a cracker eat shrimp like that.
And Germans are the crackerest of crackers.
And Sophia, who eats shrimp when she's here, loves it, doesn't eat it like that. I'm going to ask his stepbrother if he eats it like that.
Or if it was just like, oh, yeah, this is the way we enjoy it in Germany.
Or like he ate it like that once and was like, someone's like, that's wrong. He's like, no, it's not. I'll continue to do it for the rest of my life.
I've seen drunk people do it because they're too lazy to peel.
Oof. I mean, you can eat it. You can also eat a banana peel, but you don't have to.
You just don't want to eat the tail because that's going to cut you.
Yeah.
Because I used to put peeling shrimp before they're cooked, like at restaurants whenever I was doing prep cooking. I mean, those tails would.
You stick your hand in a bag of shrimp full of shrimp, and the tails and the nose and the front will poke you.
I mean, the shrimp.
If the head's still on there, it's a pain.
Tell us about your
man,
shrimp story.
So the reason I went to Bubba Gumbo's on this is because their restaurant is on. It's a dock basically, and as things do that are on the marsh, they slowly start to get a little angular on the side of the building as it kind of seeps down into the earth.
Tide goes in and the tide goes out.
Yes. And when that goes out, sometimes it brings a little bit of dirt that's part of your structure. So the tables in their dining room all have like a 20-degree slant. Yeah. So when she puts waters down, she puts it on the top of the table and it goes, and so I do no problem with that. But then we were stacking everything at the end of the meal. And I was like, you know what we should do is just bring the table over a foot, put a trash can right there, and you could crab shack that shit right in there. But God, it was good. God, it was good. And he was like, oh, what are we going to do with leftovers? I was like, well, here's what we're going to do. You're going to eat all the fried shrimp now. Yeah. They're not going to reheat very well.
That's not a...
French fries go in a
short expiration.
Shrimp, you don't reheat shrimp because they're just going to overcook.
Yeah.
And so we ate all the garlic shrimp, ate all the fried shrimp. I ate literally everything into one to-go box size of food and was just like, let's go walk on the dock for half an hour.
That's sort of the measure. It's like as long as I can fit it in the to-go box.
And we don't do birthday shout-outs, but we're going to do this one. Because I walked down to the dock because I saw two of my friends walking out there. And I said, oh, are y'all going paddleboarding? And they're like, no, we're going to Defusky. It's Kyle Dyer's birthday.
Oh, Kyle.
Happy birthday, Kyle.
I haven't seen him in a couple days.
I told everyone to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you here now. He's 33, and I was like, that's it?
Oh,
he's not gray or anything, but he's a very mature guy.
He's got
socially.
The head of a much older.
Yeah, he's an old soul, as they say.
Yeah,
but I mean, I've known him for a while, and I
would have said 30, 35.
I would have gone 35, 36. I mean, he doesn't look old, but he just has he's a chill guy.
He's got the chill demeanor.
Yeah, he does.
Which can be read as old because what's read as young as.
Some of those people are.
Yeah.
Yes, but. So I walked down there and said hey to them, and I was like, oh, Defusky, that sounds so sweet.
I actually met some cool young people that I'll open the second half with because they put me up on something that I didn't know about Tybee and Huckapoos. So we'll see. We'll get to that on the second half.
And our bologna results when we come back. All right, eat your mayonnaise.
Ever wanted to start a podcast?
Don't have the equipment or the know-how? Well, we've got you covered. From Behind the Barcast is expanding into the commercial studio space. You see, step one is making sure you sound great, because no matter how good your content may be, people don't want to listen to something that sounds like this. From Behind the Barcast and Paxton Eugene Productions now offer in-studio audio and video production. Or the studio can come to you. We offer mobile podcast production from wherever you are. Now, with the hard part out of the way, there's no excuse for you not to get started. So if you're in the Savannah area, shoot us an email at FromBehindTheBarcast@gmail.com for details and a quote. Again, that's FromBehindTheBarcast@gmail.com, and let's get your voice heard.
Go that bug.
Bug's dead. Welcome back to Bologna Bros.
Yeah. And
so what we forgot to mention earlier is we're drinking sake out of these bathroom cups that I stole. Cling.
Oh, wait. Yes, definitely.
That's the noise they make when you click them together. So I was at an Airbnb, St. Augustine.
That's where I remember those things from.
I just remembered it now. St. Augustine, Humphreys McGee at the St. Augustine Amphitheater. The Airbnb had these bathroom cups that are Mario themed.
Awesome.
And they're not all the same.
And most of them are different.
Yeah.
If a little Goomba and Koopa Troopa stands in Mario's way,
And what I've got over here is the princess is rescued. The Mushroom Kingdom is saved.
You know, it's not saved. My little tummy. So, all right, let's get the results in. So we did a bologna taste test on the.
Yes, we did, and the
three
results are in.
There's three kinds. There was just mustard, just mayonnaise,
and the combo.
Mustard and
I forgot to mention what I did for these bologna sandwiches is I took the first 4 pieces of bread out and then used the next 6.
Those are the classy 6.
Those are the classy 6 because I don't plan on eating the rest of this loaf of bread after the way my stomach feels right now.
That's what sucks. You buy a loaf of bread, you eat a loaf of bread unless you throw it away.
And they sell a half loaf of bread. It's 10 cents cheaper than the whole loaf of bread. And bread, goddamn it, I don't ever buy bread. And I was like, good Lord, like I'll buy hamburger buns occasionally.
I bought butter buns for our smash burgers last week.
But I was like, a loaf of bread is $4.50. I started with the Sunbeam White and was like, I might save 50% and get this public bread. So, Kelly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Kelly, who ate all 3 of his, we'll get to Paxton's blasphemy in a moment, bologna blasphemy in a moment here. Kelly, what was your favorite? Give me a 3, 2, 1.
Mustard, then mustard, mayo, and then mayo.
So mayo was number 1?
No.
Mayo was number 3.
I'm not the marauder that you are with mayo.
It's okay.
No one is,
Sounds like some bologna to me, but whatever.
No one
is. To me,
is.
bologna is just mustard.
Just mustard.
Yeah.
Paxton, before you divulge your... show the fans what you did here.
Kids, what you didn't do.
Because what he didn't do is finish any of his three quarters of sandwich.
3 very nice bites, though.
I mean, they were proper bites.
They
all stuck to the roof of my mouth.
If you murder somebody, we do have evidence now. If you bite them.
Are serious.
And so, Paxton, what is your third favorite?
I came in thinking that my tops would be mayonnaise and mustard because I'm a fan. Mayonnaise is in number 3.
Mayonnaise number 3?
3 spots. The number 2 spot goes to mayonnaise and mustard.
The
number 1 spot goes to mustard for me because the bright chippiness of the mustard and the meaty saltiness of the Bologna. There's less going on. There's less to worry about. There's less cats to corral in the mouth. And half of your senses are gone anyways because of the bread mask at the roof of your mouth. So I liked it. It was cleaner to me.
Well, this may actually shock you.
Hey.
My number 3 is just mayonnaise.
Wow.
Clint.
Wow.
Clint King.
You heard it, folks.
Wait a minute. Is that Kent King or Clint King over there?
I know. I should have put my glasses on for that reveal. My number 2 is just mustard. And my number 1 is mayonnaise mustard.
Okay.
That suits you.
A little bit of tang for the mustard.
Sure.
And, of course, the delicious creaminess.
What did you think your number 1 would be?
Just mayonnaise.
Just mayonnaise.
I thought just mayonnaise was going to be. I haven't had one in so long. I was like, oh, it'll be just mayonnaise.
And we implore you to try out.
And the mayo one had a lot more mayo than like the other condiments on the other two. Like,
well,
it was a nice
made
layer,
up for lost time.
Nice layer of mustard on just the mustard.
And I said, I'm using an average amount of mayonnaise. And,
and then
just so you know.
Mustard mayo, there was a nice slathering of mustard, but the mayo was starting to get thicker at this point.
Yeah.
You can see where this is going. And,
and I wanted him to sit at room temperature as long as possible so that like it had been in your lunchbox with no. Back in the day before you had the little ice pack in there, it was just.
True.
It was just in a lunchbox, probably made the night before.
How long did your sandwich make it onto a field trip before lunch?
My sandwich?
Yeah.
The whole way. I usually steal somebody else's and eat that first.
You are a mayonnaise marauder.
If I'm on the, I've had my parents. There's a lot of fuel needed for this machine to run the way it does.
I'm high octane Bologna, brother.
You can't run at this speed without getting. I'm like the Flash. I got to get a lot of calories in.
All right, so we teased this in the first half. I had a couple come in, and they go. I was like, "Hey, did you guys just get here, like to town?" They're like, "We're visiting from Ohio and we're leaving tomorrow." I was like, "Oh, well, who told you to come here?" They said, "No one. We found it on TikTok."
On TikTok, huh?
They go. Right now on TikTok, if you look up Tybee or Savannah or anything, Huckapoo's trends on there because people. I see people with their phones out and shit. You know what I mean? But
they're TikToking the pizza, huh?
They're TikToking everything. Just like they're like, look at the place.
There's a lot going on in Huckapoo, so maybe it's a good TikTok. They're like, look at all this stuff.
Yeah,
you may watch it multiple times to get the gist of the room.
There's a lot of visual things happening, with clientele and personnel.
You triple that baby up? Did you Big Mac that thing?
I got rid of one thing of mustard and put it in the all mayonnaise with the all mustard. Combined it, got rid of one piece of the bread. That's the winner for me now. It's like a bologna Big Mac. I will not be eating 5 of them.
I mean, you're kind of at like 2 right now, right?
Yeah, I'm getting there. But
I couldn't handle it.
It's a lot of sandwich.
It's a lot of sandwich.
And the thing is, it's just the white bread is so. I mean, it's the most moist of the average breads, but man,
it's claggy.
Yes, claggy. To use a term I don't, I guess that's right.
It's claggy. It's claggy. Even if you don't know what it means, like just the sound of it, you know what it means. It's claggy.
But you know what's not claggy?
What's that?
A good old-fashioned quote.
Ooh, one of the.
It's the quote of the week.
And my quote of the week was I'm going to give you some reference, and then I'm going to quote it up. Okay.
Yeah.
Trying to get a homeboy, and maybe he's made the same mistake a couple times. Maybe he can't.
You mean like with a woman or
with a woman, with diet, with substance abuse, with just bad habits.
Gotcha.
And your friend's like, everybody keeps telling me to stop hitting my head against the wall, and it hurts. Yeah. But you know what? I really like this wall, so I'm gonna keep hitting my head against it. And I said, well, I'm against the idea. I told this guy, look, don't stop doing this. This sucks. And he's like, I know. It's, I just, everyone's telling me no. I'm like, he's like, I don't have a single person who said yes, man. I said, I'm not a yes man. I'm a damn man. Hey man, the fuck are you doing, man?
Hey man, I'm not a yes man. I'm a hey man. Hey.
What are you doing?
Hey, I'm returning 100. Hey,
yeah. Hey man, what you doing, man?
What are you doing over there?
Stop getting so drunk. You know what I'm saying, man? You'll lose your phone, I swear, man. But it's not as good as country as coleslaw, but it works.
I had a lot of like non-quotable things this past weekend. Things
you wanted to forget?
Yeah, things that I want to forget, and especially something like, I'm gonna tell you what you can do for me. What am I, UPS? What can Brown do for you? I can Brown for you.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. Come in the bathroom with me. I'll poop in this hot, steamy bathroom while Franklin watches us.
I swear, someone went in and was like, I got to see this picture. I was like, it's kind of hard to miss unless you miss it, if that makes any sort of sense at all.
If you raise your eyes 2 degrees up for any reason.
And catch the mirror, because you can catch it in the mirror
that's
a little
the thing.
bit.
I don't catch it in the mirror, I think, because I'm too tall. But I think if you're a short person, it might startle you. It's like you go to the Carpathian, it's coming to the ceiling, and you're like, oh God.
And it's such like a sweet looking like gaze.
And the eyes kind of follow you. Remember where you put your dick? The eyes follow it each side of the toilet. I'm like, oh, look at it. Watch.
Can I pee now, sir? Okay.
Yeah. Good. I'm surprised nobody's googly-eyed it yet. Don't do that. It's hard. It's pretty high up, though.
Yeah.
There's nothing to stand on there but like 30 chairs.
But 40 chairs, I think. Yeah, I'm sure you could.
Oh, that'll startle you, too. You walk in, there's just a shitload of church chairs. You're like, everything.
Most people will walk into that bathroom and ask where the bathroom is. They think it's a chair closet. Because,
Well, yeah,
right when you walk in the door, if you don't look to the right, all you see is a stack of church chairs. Really? Yeah, really, man. Really.
Look, man.
And those chairs, they're a magnet for phones, drinks. I'll go in there after a night of work. 2 phones, a drink, some panties.
Yeah.
How'd the panties taste?
Yeah, they were a little salty.
Wash them down with a drink.
Yeah. I was like, look.
Took a selfie with the phone. Whose panties are these? I couldn't help it. I want to apologize. We have a letter from the editor here. Last week, I made a very stupid joke about Japanese. And my poor friend, one of our loving Patreon subscribers since about day one, V, has an update to his GPS or whatever. And now when he's listening to a podcast, so you don't miss anything, after your GPS goes, turn right ahead, it backs it up to 5 seconds. And he was unfortunately at Japanese. Turn right here, Japanese. Now make a left at the end of the exit. Japanese. All right. After you make a left, that's the first right. Japanese. And then I happened just to call him right then. And he answered the phone like, oh God, don't say it. I was like, what? He's like, Japanese. And I was like, Japanese? He's like,
Well, I love how last week you were like, hey, don't worry about opening the second half. I've got it.
And I didn't. I did not have it. I did not have it.
Well, you know what V definitely is not?
Oh, shit. It's the Karen of the week. It's the Karen of the week.
Oh, shit.
You will really get this look off somebody's face and out of your head.
What is that?
It's a nice table of the gays.
Table of the gays.
A good
Nothing as good as a good table of gays.
Table of the gays.
Yes.
Game of
You
Thrones
can have Game of Thrones. Yeah, it was. You remember those South Park when they were like dicks. Had a nice table the other day of 2 gay guys, and in the room at the same time was what would have maybe been a Karen table or a Darren table. It was the stacked dishes guy.
Okay.
And they were kind of obnoxious. Their kids were kind of obnoxious. And then
it's genetic. I told you,
it's
man.
Genetic, yeah. But then next to them sits these 2 nice gays. And these guys are in their mid late 40s, both very well dressed, clean, smelled nice, polite, well mannered, moved their shit out of the way. Oh. And then, as most of the gays do, I'd say 98% a fat ass tip.
Yes.
Usually in cash.
Yes.
And I know when I walk up to a table and they're lesbians or gay, I'm like, sweet yes. Now one of them, if it's 2 gay men, one may be a prissy little bitch and kind of mess with you some, but it doesn't matter. You're getting the reward at the end.
Yes. It's a fun exchange at that point.
Yes. It'll be a good time.
It's finding the margins there.
Yeah.
It's pushing
to the
limit.
They were able to like suck the Karen and Darren out of that table just by their presence alone.
Yeah.
And then on my last shift where I worked the other day on Thursday, my first table is a girl named Michelle who was out here and her girlfriend. And she works at Sunday Cafe. Shout out to her and Sunday Cafe. It is a lot of sandwich. She came in and I'm like, oh, sweet. First table. I know she's in the industry. I know her. I've known her forever.
She's a gay.
She's a gay. This is going to be great. And great experience. Had a good time. Nice, great tip. That's my first table. Then come in some tables. And then comes in this big giant man. I mean, 6'8", 280, maybe 6'7", 280. And I didn't have a measuring stick on me. Big guy, got tattoos, super nice. Walk up. He goes, "What's your favorite manly drink?" Roasted old fashioned. "I'll have one. Here's my ID." I was like, and the guy's like 45 years old.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right.
Know the drill.
We talked shooting the shit a few minutes later, and I said, where are you from? He said he's from West Augusta.
That's a thing?
Yeah.
It's a thing. We brought that up before.
You're
Yeah.
from there,
Yeah. And I said, "Oh, you've been to Savannah before?" He goes, "Yeah, I usually just go to Tybee." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, where'd you go out in Tybee?" He's trying to see if he'd been to the poo or something. And he said, "Well, last time I was there, I was in a police chase." And he could have been a cop. Because he was a big stout guy. I was like, "Oh, were you chasing or getting chased?" And he said, "I was getting chased." And I was like, "Oh, what had happened?" And he said he was in Wet Willie's, and there was a Darren in there hitting his Karen. And arguing with her, and like the bartender was trying to get him to leave, and he had enough. The guy was like bumping into him a couple times. He was being nice about it, and finally, when the guy put his hands on Karen, he was like, "Sweet Jesus, an opportunity!" And he said, "Hey man, you touch her again, I'm gonna knock you the fuck out." And the guy said, "This is my bitch," and pushed her away. And he went, "Okay, cool." Whap, and knocked him the fuck out.
Fuck yeah.
Karen goes, no, only he can hit me. I'm calling the police. Now, downtown Tybee, on a Friday or Saturday night, there's cops within earshot of everything. So
yeah, because it's all concentrated.
Yeah, it's all concentrated in like one little area.
So, yeah.
So the cops come. He runs to the beach, as you do. It's a good way to get dark out there, kind of.
Yeah.
Well, that side's a little lit, whatever. He runs down to the beach, loops back around to his hotel at the Atlantis Inn, and said, thank God the night before he brought the night manager a couple drinks, had some drinks with him, talked him up. So when he ran in there from said police, the night manager, when the cops came by, does a man come in here? He's like, no, seen him in like half an hour.
I thought
you
were
sure? Big guy? And they're like,
big
no.
guy tattoos? Nope, never seen anyone even
like
like
my
him.
life. They're like, all right. And the bartender at Willie's was like, I don't remember his name or anything about him. He had paid with cash, man. I don't know. I mean, and our camera's been broke for like a week.
That's
so.
community, motherfucker. That's community.
Dude ended up being an incredibly generous tipper also, but also he's very easy to get along with.
Yes.
And I could tell this guy had to be pushed too far. I don't know why you would have pushed this giant man too far. He'll beat the baloney out of your ass.
He will I thought you were going to say, and luckily when I got there, my car was backed in. I was able to get into it. And I was able to get into it.
What are you lighting up out of there? Bologna sandwich on the dashboard, car backed in.
It's funny how just the tiniest bit of consideration for the people who are serving you, how far that will get you.
Yeah.
A nice gentleman walking in who probably looks intimidating by the way you're describing him.
I mean, it's like legs up next to the table because he's so tall.
Yeah. Here's my idea. I would like a drink. Just being pleasant. The bar is so low for servers and bartenders today in today's day and age with, whatever. And for just the most simplest of gestures of here's my idea. I'm not giving you shit about it. I know I could tear your head off.
Yeah.
We don't have to be about that.
This is not about that. Yeah.
How are you going to push a gentleman like that?
Yeah. Who's got some size? I mean, I didn't have to ask. I didn't need to know that the guy was bigger than him because it would have been a freak accident if he was.
Yeah.
No pun on the freak there, but and he ended up hooking me up, cash.
Yeah.
Like, it was great. It was a great table, and he was the end of my night pretty much. So I had the gays in the beginning and the guy who I would never call gay at the end.
I like that he was like, give me your manliest drink. It's like, I don't think you need to prove.
No, I think he just wanted something like sturdy and strong. I roasted old fashioned. That's a good tough drink. And old fashioned, and like you get a margarita at some bars, they may have premix. It may be a crappy premix. You don't know what you're going to get. But an old fashioned, the worst thing you can have is average bitters or an average cherry.
Is it bourbon, sugar, and bitters?
Bourbon, sugar cube, bitters, and they roast the orange wheel with a flamethrower.
You should have brought him a blue helicopter.
No, I like
it. And then switched it at the end. Like
I got you. So I had a table come in, and at all first appearances, they could have been Darren's, with a side of Karen's. So I'm looking at these people, and the first thing they do is before they've even reached anywhere close to me, it's already, hey. They ask someone my name, and they didn't hear it. Or no one hears my name the right way the first time.
Claxton?
So I start hearing Patsy.
Oh.
Patsy! So I'm like, all right, look, it's pretty early in the evening. I'm not.
You sure they didn't want Mike?
I'm not angry yet. So I walked, and they go and sit at the furthest spot from me at the outhouse round is what we call it if you're at off.
Patsy!
So Patsy! So I walk around like, hey guys, you guys need menus or anything? Like just trying to calm them down, be like, hey, I'm here for you. Okay. You can ask anyone. I don't normally walk out from behind this bar. You know what I mean? It's just there's two bottlenecks that I don't want to. Excuse me. Pardon.
And that's a long trip.
It fucking sucks. So I get around to him, and the guy goes, "You know what you can do for me, man?" But this wasn't in the way that I was describing earlier.
Yeah, what can I do for you?
He's like, "Give me 3 Budweisers, give me 2 pizzas, 1 pepperoni, 1 this and that, and then whenever you bring the pizzas back, we might get some shots before we eat." I was like, "I got you, man."
Hell yeah.
Pizzas come out like relatively quick, which I was pretty happy about because typically if I have like a good rapport with someone, it doesn't last as long as how long their pizza takes.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
even the nicest of people.
There's diminishing returns on that.
Even the nicest of people are going to get a little hangry. It's natural. And I get that. I don't begrudge them for that.
Yeah, I always tell people like, look, if you're starving, these are the 3 fastest things you can get.
Right, yeah. So I bring it around. He goes, give me 3 shots, whatever you think is good. I was like, look, this isn't the...
So you want 3 shots of bourbon. Gotcha.
Well, I walked around the bar. I was like, you know what? I'm going to make him green teas. So I walk around the bar, and the dude is flexing his muscles.
Did he look ripped?
So I went like this. I was like, and he goes, no, I meant make him strong. I was like, oh.
Damn.
I made him normally.
But Huckapoo's, that's strong.
That's strong. Bring him around to him. By the time I get back to behind the bar here, Patsy! And I turn.
You haven't fixed Patsy yet?
I turned. No, I didn't care at that point. I turned in horror, and he was like, he points at his bicep, and he nods up and down. He's like, thank you. So he's like, hey, we're going to get a box and close it up right now. He goes, put everything on me. Give it to him. Super fat tip. He goes, you know what? I think we're going to hang out for a little bit. What'd you make us earlier? I was like, I made you green cheese. He goes, 3 more of them. I was like, all right. He goes, you know what? Before you walk away, 3 more of them and 2 Budweisers. So you don't have to make 2 trips. I was like, man, I love this dude. Closes out again, tips fat again, and he goes, what nights do you work? So it's Thursday day, Saturday, and Sunday. He goes, I'll come back anytime you're here.
Shit, yeah.
Nice. And
Good
this
job,
was,
Patsy.
and Patsy.
You're going to get an online 5-star review for Patsy.
But the thing was, it was a complete turn because the way I looked at these people and the way they acted. So
he was confident because he knew what he wanted,
and he
wasn't false confidence of like, "Hey, come here."
He knew honey? He knew because when we did interact, he knew what. And he had never been there before. They had never been there before.
Probably looked at the menu online. Weird.
They had never been there before, so he was just like, "Hey, let's make this as easy as possible." And he could look around and tell we were busy. And I was like, all that took was, that I was like, I got to give him the chance by walking because I'm not gonna
give peace a chance.
I'm not gonna forge this relationship across the bar. I've got to be standing next to this person. And if I can't rescue it standing next to them, then it's unrescuable and I'm never going to walk out here again. Now I'm just going to be across the bar. Yeah, you want something, bro?
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right.
So I knew it was fixable as long as I was standing next to him. And it turned out to be right.
So has anyone confused you with the new country sensation? I don't know his name. His song is The Riches North of Richmond. And he just...
No, he is I've seen a picture of the dude. He is full ginger.
Yeah, I know, but, in a dark bar.
No.
He doesn't want notoriety. He would turn down some kind of large offer for money or whatever. I didn't listen to the song. I've heard great things about it. It's just not my style of music usually. But
I saw the first 10 seconds, and what I didn't like was he was pretending he was playing outside with this microphone in front of him, like recording live. I was like, there's no way that would sound like a studio. It took me out of the production completely, so I quit.
I saw that one clip I saw. He was like this far from the microphone, like way too far back, and I was like, whatever. But someone asked me, he's like, is that Paxton? I was like, that's his brother, Claxton.
That's my cousin,
Patsy.
Patsy.
Cousin Patsy. But a little.
Yeah, I mean, what?
You got better hair than he does. Well, you have more of it.
You have more of it. It's not
better.
It's not better. I got my first compliment
ever.
It was on Thursday. And they go, you look like you've never had a compliment before. I was like, you're right, I haven't. No. It was a couple, and they had 2 kids. And they go, you know what? I really like your hair.
The kids?
The father. I was like, well, I accidentally fell in some bleach. He's like, no, seriously. It looks fine.
I see your roots are showing. You let it grow out?
Yeah. I've unintentionally let the sides grow out. I need to get that. I mean, you've housed that entire plate of sandwiches. Look at this.
Some people came here to eat.
I came here
look at all the calories I saved.
I came here to drink beer, kick ass, and eat bologna. I'm
right.
almost out of bologna.
That's right.
We're not out of bologna or bread. It's making me sweat. The bologna sweats are different.
I was doing Prosecco.
Well,
bologna sweats hit different.
The bologna sweats do hit different. If you feel them in your thighs for some reason. Get them sweaty bologna thighs, girl.
I fingered your shot a little bit. Sorry. That's hazards of the sake trade.
You fingered my shit a little bit?
Shot.
Well, it doesn't pair really well with bologna.
Sake.
Cheers. Beer's not bad.
Beer's okay. Beer with bologna's fine.
It should be, right? German.
The first time I really enjoyed it.
You should have it in a stein. That's why it doesn't taste right.
That's probably right.
Fried bologna?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Pac-Man.
I would much rather have it that way at this point in my life than as a cold cut.
No, we talked about it on the break, and you told us to shut up.
Yeah, so fried bologna. Fried bologna.
Pac-Man.
Yes.
Okay.
Pac-Man.
You Pac-Man?
All kinds of. I talked about this on the first half for sure. I did the egg in there. But
Pac-Man's like where you slice it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what Pac-Man looks like. I'm not that young.
Easy, Tiger.
Sorry.
He's a video gamist.
Easy dog.
Here's the thing. What the fuck happened to Mr. Pac-Man? Did Miss Pac-Man get all the rights in the divorce? Because for years, you would just see Miss Pac-Man. Single, not Mrs. Pac-Man, Miss Ms. Pac-Man.
Oh.
Which the thing is, when she was married to Mr. Pac-Man, she would have been Mrs. Pac-Man.
Here's the thing.
But she became Ms. Pac-Man?
What you don't know is...
she got the ghost in the divorce?
No, Ms. Pac-Man was still Pac-Man, but you could go heads up against each other, 2 players, so that you could tell them apart. One had the bonnet on and one didn't. That's why it was more popular, and that's why you only saw that game because
it was ladies first?
Because it was 2 players.
Because it was ladies first thing, I guess. Yeah,
it was 2 players.
One player is the first person you use is Ms. Pac-Man, right?
Yeah, sure. I guess maybe.
Now that you say that, I don't want to. I just remember playing it and getting to an age where I couldn't fit my legs under it and was like, "Am I supposed to stop now?"
Are you talking about the cocktail table?
The cocktail table one, where you're like,
the biggest fraudster in video game history, Billy Mitchell. He cheats at Pac-Man. He does it on like emulators.
Oh, so you win every time?
Yeah. Well, no. It's just like it's not legal equipment for the standard of Pac-Man.
Legal Pac-Man equipment. There's a phrase you don't hear every week.
You got to have a certain joystick. It can only be a 4-way joystick. Can't have an 8-way.
Well, you can't. There's no angles in Pac. There's no. You can't go cut the 45.
But it's easier to get to those angles.
Round that corner, as it were.
As it were. Yes.
And the thing about Pac-Man is, like, no matter how old you were, you could be okay at Pac-Man.
I was never really good.
I was terrible.
I
really?
could maybe get
I'm
4 screens in.
I'm easily 5 or 6 stages in.
I'm
catching the fruit and everything.
Really?
I made some good runs on Galaga, but
I was worse at Galaga.
Really? I love Galaga. It was like Space
Burger Time.
I was worse at Galaga.
Burger Time.
Didn't really like Burger Time.
Because you didn't get it, man.
A lot of work.
It is.
It's a lot of sandwich.
But it's more. It is a lot. It's more involved, man. The video games kids play today. Talking about Burger Time is.
I know. Dude, I mean,
it's work.
I've got an Xbox that's probably 15 years old, but like the military games, whatever. SEAL Team 6 or Rainbow Six.
FPS.
I'm playing Call of Duty Cold War right now.
Yeah.
The tutorial feels like a real video game.
That's all I play. It's
like 30 minutes of hand holding.
I'm playing about too much to do, and you have 16 buttons to use.
Yeah.
In some games,
and one only pulls a grenade out.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you hit it by accident, you're a goddamn it. Grenade.
I can't get back to the AK.
Well, it was a good day. You didn't need to use it, did you?
I didn't need to use it because it was a good day.
Why did the pimp say Ice Cube is? Why did the blimp say? Ice
Cube is a pimp? Because you could hire blimps back in those days to say things like that. Was like the cameo of back in the day.
Ice Cube's a pimp. Yeah, you don't get Ice Cube's a pimp. You can't get anything for yourself. Will you marry me? Ice Cube's a pimp.
It was funny when cameos first came out. People didn't know what it was, so YouTubers would pay Snoop Dogg to be like, "Hey, y'all heard that new album by Davey 202?" And they thought
Detox by Dr. Dre. You have to tease them.
They thought that they were getting a legit endorsement from these big, music artists for some shitty little mixtape in Mississippi.
Hell yeah!
So for like the first 6 months, people were very confused because Ice Cube did a few. He's like, "You got to check out the Wild Things podcast on Spotify." 8 followers. And they'd be like, "Oh shit, Ice Cube listens."
Well, here's the thing: if I get that video, I am now using that video.
Yeah.
I mean, for promotional use only. Come on.
Yeah.
How much do you think it would cost? Snoop Dogg would be like, y'all heard from behind the bar.
Hey man, he would be like, "How much for the sunglasses off?" You can't afford that.
Oh, I don't think anyone can. I don't think his wife's seen him like that.
Probably not. His kids are like, "Daddy, what do your eyes look like?"
Bloodshot. The answer is bloodshot. I mean, you got to imagine.
The only guy allowed to smoke real weed on film sets.
Oh, I mean, sure. There's probably there's got to be somebody else, man.
Probably not.
He snookered Matthew McConaughey when they're.
That's what I was thinking. Matthew McConaughey.
Beach Bum.
He goes, "Wait a minute."
He switched out the movie weed for Snoop's real weed, his personal shit.
Did they smoke nothing but real weed on Pineapple Express?
No, it was all fake weed. I promise.
Well, because what's his name doesn't smoke weed, right? James Franco.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but none of them did on set.
Doesn't smoke weed.
They don't do it on set. You got to be Snoop Dogg and bring your own shit in and just not say anything. And then once you're rolling,
I don't know
it's like,
about
"Hey,
that.
sorry."
You think Pineapple Express they didn't smoke weed?
I guarantee you they didn't.
Did you even see it?
Yes, I saw it. A huge Hollywood production like that, they will not sign off.
That wasn't a huge Hollywood production, though.
Yeah, the fuck it was.
That was like one of his first big movies.
What are you talking about?
His third big movie, wasn't it?
Who? Seth Rogen?
Yeah.
It was Superbad, which was huge in 2005.
Yep. Then Pineapple Express.
No, Pineapple Express was like 2011 or something like that.
Knocked Up. I mean.
Yeah, Knocked Up. Fucking 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Zack and Miri Make a Porno.
Zack and Miri Make a Porno. He made a lot of shit.
Maybe the weed is affecting my memory.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think so.
It's affecting your appetite.
I'm not saying he didn't. Yeah, it is. I didn't say he didn't make great movies. I'm just saying I thought that was one of the earlier ones.
Yeah.
But I guess they had like the sharks in the thing. You know,
it was like 2011, 2012 for Pineapple Express, bro.
And it's good for stoner movies are great for stoners because you can watch them again and again because you just forget a lot of the same shit.
The last time I got like actually stoned to watch a movie was Grandma's Boy, and it was horrifying.
That's a great stoner movie.
Not for a guy who has panic attacks, and if he sees weed.
You're like, there it is. I have flashbacks.
And I was stuck in a house with my buddy and his mom watching this movie.
Did she have any flowers in her bong?
The thing, and the thing was like, there's a lot of like titties. Like Jonah Hill is sucking on a big fake titty in Grandma's Boy at one of the parties, and I'm sitting there with this septuagenarian lady.
Did you suck on her titty?
I was like,
you could lay your head in her lap and suck on her titty. You don't have to move your head up.
I was like, this is horrifying. I'm having a huge panic attack. I can't go anywhere. I hated it.
Well, as we're coming to a little close here, you and I hate.
What's that?
Not being able to find a good place to jerk off at work.
I drive a car, so
you got plenty of places to jerk off. You can go anywhere.
I'm kinky, I guess, but that just seems just dangerous.
There was a serial masturbator employed at many downtown Savannah restaurants over the course of the last 20 years. And on the Patreon, we'll expose him like he did himself.
Which we're about to go to now. Thank you guys for listening and watching this week. Please follow our Instagram, From Behind the Barcast. We're on YouTube, From Behind the Barcast. Please hit the red subscribe button. It is free. And also, if you want to hear the juicy details of men's juicings, go to patreon.com/From Behind the Barcast. And
the bologna beater.
The bologna beater. And put in code word Japanese. And we will see y'all next week. We love you.
Our promo code should be Japanese. How do you spell Japanese? You know it.